Yeah. You gotta work. You gotta work, grind, shine, it's mine. Gotta show everybody it's my time. Getting here, you gotta work, grind, shine. Never mind who talking down, cause they lying. Don't talk, you gotta work.
Let the conversation begin. This is Let's Talk with your host, Carl Lee.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Carl Lee, and I'm your host of Let's Talk. Let's Talk is a deep dive into sports, culture, and social issues and how they connect and shape today's society. And now what I want to do is I want to get my co-host in and let him introduce himself, and my guest will introduce themselves, and we'll get started.
That was an excellent opening.
You like that?
You props on that one. I'm Hollis Lewis.
Are you not going to give us anything else?
Oh, they know who I am.
Okay. Yeah, he's the guy that I always fight with. All right, Dave.
David Walker, coach at South Charleston Middle School.
And Karley Walker, coach at South Charleston High School for the girls basketball team.
All right, I just want to make sure everybody got that. That's dad and daughter coaching middle school and high school. All right, let's talk, all right? One of the conversations that I want to have today is, one, I want to challenge dad and daughter about the...
This could get ugly.
Yeah, this could get ugly. I'm hoping it does. Like, what's the difference in the coaching pattern, okay, of, you know, who's the firmest coach? And then my nemesis over here, Mr. Lewis, we will talk about, because Karley, I realize that you have just lost one of your top players, so I'm curious about that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to try to do today, I'm going to try to make this happen, but it sometimes it doesn't always go this way. But parents, you are a problem. Okay? Parents, you have become a problem for coaches. And whether you know it or not, and one of the reasons why I wanted dad and daughter here was because it starts somewhere. And some kind of way, we have to stop it. You have to stop getting in the way. And one of the stories that I read on the AP today was there was a umpire who was doing a game, and the parents were yelling and screaming at him, and he ended up turning around and asked them to do it or had them do it. And for me as a coach, I've coached twice, and I've coached two programs that were down in the dumps, and no, I'm not making any excuses, but that was my role, was to try to change it. I have never claimed to be a great football coach. I have coached 11 years, and I have had some great relationships at West Virginia State. I had some at South Charleston. We have two good coaches, great coaches in here today, and so we're going to try to figure out what is the challenge in coaching today, what's the difference in dad and daughter, and then me and Hollis will fight about every piece of it going forward. So, Dave, tell me a little bit about you. Tell me what you want about, what are you looking for at the middle school? What are you trying to do? Tell us a little bit about your success, because I know you've had some success there, and you didn't give us that in your intro. So
Yeah, we've had some success. We've won some championships, and we've played for a lot of championships as well. Just lost 2 in a row. Might not want to go into detail on that one. But I'm more proud of the kids that we've gotten and the tutor program that we started there. When my very first year that I was there, we won a championship. And the next year, a bunch of them were 7th graders, and the next semester of basketball, I lose 7 kids. I've never been more embarrassed in my life. And those are kids that people come to, I go to the next game and they're like, Dave, where's all your kids?
you're talking academically.
They're saying, they're saying my kids, like it was my responsibility. and it slapped me in the face. And so we started a tutor program, and then we started feeding them. And from there and moving that forward, so we've kind of tried to build more of a community of helping the kids and getting the kids to trust me, trust the process, and trust, Karley helped me coach 1 year as well for the boys. And Bill Poor helps me as well. And we feel like we're building that trust within the kids. and to be able to work them harder, get them to understand, and to be able to coach them. Because the coaching hard, as we were when we were growing up,
Right.
that's a thing of the past, I think. I don't know. I mean, that has been very hard. She'll tell you now, I mean, I'm a lot softer than I used to be. I was harder on the girls than I am now with the boys. Maybe I'm getting more mature. I don't know.
Okay, Karley, give us a little bit of background about you and your coaching style, and if it's different.
I would say at this point in my dad's career, our style is a little different because I am a lot firmer. But that's also because I've had to adjust too. I used to be 10 times harder than I am now, but just like he's saying, it's kind of, that's coaching of the past. You can't really get on kids or motivate them the same way that I was coached. It's completely different now. So you have to really cater your style to the team you've got, the players that you have, and figure out what motivates them. So I would like to say that I have a consistent coaching style, but it might change day to day depending on what's going on. You've got to figure out what's best for for me, for my girls, or whether you're coaching boys, it doesn't matter. You've got to figure out what's best for your kids in that moment. And so we do have very similar styles. I mean, I've learned everything I know about the game of basketball from this man over here. And I've taken a little bit of things from my college coach, from other coaches that I've played for, but I've played for my dad for a good bit of my life. So as far as sets and how we view the game, it's pretty similar.
Now, is there a difference between, speaking of coaching styles, is there a difference between coaching the girls versus coaching the boys?
I'll take girls any day. Any day.
I coached the girls harder than I've coached the boys.
Yeah.
But it was a different time and different era where we were fortunate to have Alexis and Renee and a bunch of girls that really went. I mean, we had a lot of kids go D1 and D2 during that span.
And you had
Not
said
just in
something
South
before. You had said something before the show started about how other girls wanted to come to play with that cast of great female athletes.
Oh yeah, we had every kid pretty much in the state wanted to play for that group, for the Tornado group, and partially because they knew, just like we were talking about, Hollis, they were going to get looked at,
And that's AAU.
and that was AAU.
Yeah.
You know, so AAU is a little bit different because you're raising the money to travel and do that. But to me, the thing now with coaching, especially at a middle school level, is getting the kids to trust you and let them know that, hey, I love this kid. I want him to do well. I want him to make sure he's okay when he goes home at night. I want to make sure his grades are good. I want to make sure that if he needs anything, he can come to me, or he can come to Coach Poore, or he can come to Karley. You know, we're active in our community, just like you are in South Charleston. We're very active in the community, and if I do that, I can coach the kid a whole lot harder.
Is there an expectation, being like a middle school coach, that you're going to, do something to highlight that kid to get him seen by the high school coach, or to elevate him to that level? Is there an expectation?
I would say there's a little bit more of that now, just with the new rules where you pretty much can pick where you want to go now, your ninth grade year. So there is a little bit more of that expectation, but I actually coached the middle school girls, a while ago now. But it's, to me, from a middle school standpoint, it's really about teaching them the basics and the fundamentals and developing those players every single year. So that way when they get to the high school, I have to go over a lot of stuff that these girls should have learned in 5th, 6th, 7th grade. And that's frustrating as a high school coach. I know other coaches around, the state and the county have to deal with that same thing. So I think as far as middle school, it's more of development, teaching them the game, teaching them to compete, teaching them how to be a team player. And then with that, the wins will come.
Okay, so the parent at the middle school who really doesn't know the game of basketball, and they don't all they know is their kid. And hear me, parents out there. So that parent that is yelling and screaming at you, and your whole role is to develop that kid to get to the high school. What is it? What makes me want to yell at you because my kid didn't get in the game, or you pulled my kid out? What is the issue with the parents? And I know there's some stories back there. We won't dive into them too deep. But what do you say to those parents that seemingly don't get it?
I'm pretty blunt. I mean, I always have been.
Well, speak
I mean,
your mind.
even when they were there. But I mean, come to practice. Your kid, every Saturday we have open practice where it's not first five against first five, and it's competition. And it's pretty much we're scrimmaging the whole time. If you need to beat him out, guard him. If that's the playing time that you're trying to get, guard him. And that's what I do. And we do that not only on Saturdays, but we do it one other day during the week, depending on games and which games we're playing. And then the other two practices are more fundamentals, making sure we know what we're doing against certain teams and that kind of thing. But my practices are wars. I mean, we get after it. We always have, even when they played. I mean, I push kids to get after it and put them on the spot. And I challenge, I mean, if you're parent, come and watch a practice. You can see it. The kids know it. You know, and that has worked well for me. Now, I'm not saying I've never had any parents. I have one or two every year. But I'm kind of blessed where we've been pretty good that everybody plays anyway. You know, and I'm not trying to put other teams down or anything, but, I mean, we've been able to play and everybody gets to play. You know what I mean? When we're playing most games. Now, there's, you know, games, and I'll just say John Adams or West Side or something like that. Those games are always heated, always fun. I love them. But there's other games where those kids have a chance to shine. So and they're in the mix.
So from the parents' perspective, do you find like the criticism is more on like them just trying to highlight their kid? Is the criticism like your coaching philosophy, or is the criticism just everybody needs to play?
It always comes back to their kid. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, we talk about coaching and styles, and, you know, she said she learned from me. But, I mean, we all learn from people that we've played for, coached with, played with, traveled with. I mean, I traveled all over the country until I was 40 playing with Gay and all them boys. And you learn things from everybody. I mean, basketball is not that hard. Put your guys where they're not. Play harder than the other team. That's what I love about Hugs. His team plays harder than the other team pretty much every game. And if you can get your kids to buy into that and play tough, I mean, we press and play man-to-man pretty much every game.
But I guess what I'm asking is, do the parents buy into that, though, from your perspective in your years coaching?
Or do you care?
Yeah. Or do you care? Yeah.
Do I have to answer that? No. That's our style. I mean, I have a parent meeting first of the year. We don't play zone. All right. If we have to play in a certain situation in the tournament, maybe. But during the season, we play man-to-man, we press. And here's why. I want the game to go fast because I want more kids to play. And I want more possessions. And I want them to speed up because you don't get better playing slow. You know, like I've had parents from, like I had a kid transfer to me last year, and I was just kind of like, I told them, and I said, he'll get better in practice. I said, I'm not guaranteeing you any playing time. I said, but he'll get better in practice because he won't be playing a 2-3 zone every day in practice and just beating up on the kids he's playing with. I said, he'll get better. I said, that should be the only thing you want in middle school.
And I agree with you. And I have a friend who has a son who plays at the middle school. Great kid. Struggles with some height, but is going to be a really great player. But dad is not handling the limited time maybe on the floor, or maybe not starting because he has been that kid. And I can see, I haven't even seen the game, but I can see that the thing that will be hindering him would be height. But dad is saying like, hey, you know, I'm thinking about taking him somewhere else. And I'm like, and this is, and again, this is diehard South Charleston. This is diehard South Charleston player and dad and family. Okay. I don't understand. Like, to me, that is a parent issue. That is a parent issue. I know you. I don't know if they do. I know you. So I know that winning is going to be critical for you, but you're not going to put just somebody in there because I yelled. Right. And I'm saying I want them to play. It's not going to happen.
Right.
Okay? And
you earn it.
Why are we not in this place of earning it? Why is the parent not, Hollis? Why is the parent not able to earn it?
Because I think the parent is looking at they're looking at it like I've invested in it, so it needs to start paying out. I spent 4 or 5 years with trainers, and I've spent the money at AAU. I bought a gazillion nice $150 shoes. So at this point, if he's in 7th, 8th grade, he has the skill, he needs to play. And if he's not playing, I'm just saying how the parents are thinking, then it's not a matter of whether he's good or not. It just matters, he just needs an opportunity to play. And he just needs that opportunity, and eventually he'll get on the level, no matter height, size, or whatever. So I think that's how the parents thinks, because like we mentioned a couple of shows before, this has just become a big investment tool. This has become a business at an early age. So I needed to start paying dividends. I can't keep investing and it ain't paying dividends.
Karley, so he made the, on a show prior, he made the comment that the parent is now the agent.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a good way to look at it.
He
That's a
has
good
made
way
the
to
case
look at it.
that the parent is the agent. How are you going to deal with the agent?
How am I going to deal with the agent? Just straight up and honest. I mean, just like I would deal with your kid, I'm going to treat you the same way. I'm going to tell you exactly why they're not playing. I'm going to tell you what they need to work on to get said playing time. And yes, you have to invest. As a parent, you have to invest in your kid. If you want them to be at the next level, you've got to do the extra stuff. You've got to take them to the lessons. You've got to get out there and shoot with them. You've got to tell them they need to be running it, because it's not just about the skill. You've got to be in shape to play the game of basketball or any sport. And that's something that I don't see a whole lot of investment in from a lot of kids. They'll go out and do all the skill work in the world, but can only make it up and down the floor 4 times without feeling like they're about to die. So, I mean, it's got to be a full, well-rounded investment. And if you're on a team, I mean, my dad's been fortunate. He's had a lot of talent at every grade level in middle school for the last couple of years. It's hard playing everybody when you got that much talent. So they've got to fight and want their spot. I mean, that's preparing them for when they get out in the real world and they're going to get a job. I don't just get a job. I got to earn the job. I got to interview well. I got to do. That's the type of stuff you're doing when you're fighting for playing time.
And Hollis, to me, this goes back to like you have to work for it. Mm-hmm. And I think parents kind of feel like I've already done the work, because I talked to a young lady who plays volleyball at the high school, and it's really good. But I guess the team is not necessarily that good. And there was some conversation about and she does like travel volleyball and all that kind of stuff. So what keeps showing up to me is the travel sports attached to the school sports. Mm-hmm. And the travel sports are different. They come across different than the control or the demand or the expectation that comes with school sports. Yeah. Yes, and I think, and she one of the things that she was talking about, she said like she's really tired. She really doesn't know if she wants to do, school volleyball versus travel. And I said, well, school is like this unit. It's like you're connected to, you're connected to the school and blah, 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 and all that kind of stuff, where the travel, it's different people. And I get it that it's cute. It's fun to travel. You see new places. You go against different people. But where is that boundary of like saying, gosh, I want to play with you, Karley. Like, I want to be on this team. But because I don't think the kids lost that. I think the adults lost that.
I think it's just the nature of the shift in sports, because now you could play with the same travel team from age 5 to, 15, 14. Y'all all go to different schools. Y'all may live in different parts of the state. You know what I'm saying? But y'all all play together from young ages. If the parents decide if the parents decide that, y'all can play together from a young age all the way through, with going to different, schools in different counties and things of that nature. Whereas now, because of the fluidity of being able to go from school to school, there's not that connection with the neighborhood and school as it once was. Mm-hmm. So now I'm looking at a situation where like maybe I grew up on the west side. Capital is my home school, but I'm more connected to Karley as a coach. So I want to go play with her. I don't want to go because I'm not connected with the coach at this school, my home school. I'm working and 2 or 3 or 4 people I play travel ball with go to that school, and we're all just gonna go play with her. So now it is a bit of a disconnect between neighborhood and school, as opposed like now. Travel has sort of taken that on, and I think we that's something that needs to be examined. We have to figure out how to integrate that into the schools in order to make it flush out more fluidly between the schools and the travel situation.
Is there a way? Is there a way to fix that?
Well, good point, because travel, when I played AAU, there was one good team in West Virginia. That was it. And we went to one tournament, the AAU Nationals. That was it. And that was what we did. And you were 11 and 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Roger Monk was our coach, great guy. But that's what we did every year. That was it. That was our only tournament, only thing. Now, this is a huge, huge moneymaker for these people. I mean, Boo Williams and these guys, they're making millions of dollars off of AAU tournaments, AAU things and teams. Now, are they getting kids scholarships? Yes, which is fantastic. But this is a money-making machine, the AAU circuit for people.
And we have thousands of teams here in West
Oh,
Virginia.
yeah.
Well, and that's what I was going to say, is when that kid, we say they're going to play from the time they're 5th grade on. That really doesn't happen. When your kid's not playing, you know what they do? They
Bounce
go to
teams.
another,
Yep.
they bounce to another team. So they're always getting to play. Because they're not going to play for a team their kid's not paying, because I'm paying.
Yeah.
They're not paying me.
Right.
Right.
I'm being fair and honest with them. But my point is they can bounce wherever they want to bounce to. So they see that, and they're like, oh, I play with him there. I'm going to go and play at that school with them because I like playing with them.
And see, I think you may have hit the nail on the head, because that's what parents are used to, paying to play. So again, if I'm not playing, my son's daughter not playing at this team, then I can go just re-up my fees, go to this team that what's the name of them is starting, and he's going to be playing at that team. And then when that team gets too good, or maybe he's second team or just not playing enough, then I can go to the next team. Or if I get into it with this coach, I don't like their philosophy, I can go to that team.
All right. I'm hearing all of this, okay? And I'm going to make this case from my mindset. If I'm going to play travel ball, I'm starting. Okay? Okay? You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I'm here is I want to get to the next level. So I'm playing for Dave, and I'm not playing. I'm not hearing. He can love on me all he wants. I'm leaving because, dude, I'm trying to play.
I don't blame him. In travel ball, I do not blame him.
But see, if
Because
I do
you are
that in
paying
travel, I'm taking that back to the school, and it's the same thing. And I just feel like, like for me, I'm too old. I guess I'm just too old to make it make sense to me.
See, I thought the point of travel ball, and that's why I played like 2 years and I was done with it, because I thought the point was development. So I thought that, and this is, and I'm
Games.
and this is me as a young 14-year-old kid playing travel ball, and I thought the point was say, okay, if my left hand is weak dribbling the ball, then I should be able to go through that travel season
and learn it.
Get nice with my left hand so I can take it back to the school.
No, it should be.
That's
it
what I
should be
thought
like
the
that.
point
That's
for
the way.
certain
That's
grade
the way
levels.
ours was when we started for the tornado.
For certain grade
Exactly.
levels, like I think if you're in like the little league phase or middle school phase and you're playing travel ball, it should still be development. You should still be honing on those skills. Yeah, you're playing. You're trying to get games in, get game reps in, get your basketball IQ up, playing to win. But when you get to high school, it's a business. If you're playing travel ball in high school, the only reason you should be playing is to get a scholarship.
Or you're wasting your money.
Whether it's D1, D2, NAI, wherever it might be, but why are you paying all that money to play basketball in high school if you have no plans of
But
playing
I guess
in the
what I'm
future?
saying, like if you're a big man, let's say you a big man in today's basketball, you a high schooler, you 6'8", and you're used to playing on the wing, but you know what, you like, man, I need to get better with my back to the basket. Where do you develop those skills?
You find a post player that you can trust and you go work with them.
But I'm saying, I'm saying,
And probably play.
Right.
But what I'm saying is like in-game skills where I can say, all right, coach, I just want my son just straight back to the basket. That's all he gonna do while we do this travel season. Like, because there is no more playground like that. playground ball is different. It's evolved into something different.
Yeah.
So you can't. The coach got to play you to win in a high school situation. So where do you go to develop those in-game skills that you need to take to the high school or take to your freshman year?
And that's where the AAU coaches can really help because they have all summer. You know, I got an Oaksfield gym. You've all been in Oaksfield gym.
Yeah.
I got 28 kids in there at a time. I can't do individual drills with every single kid. But every single kid that I have does big man drills, guard drills. Everybody does the same thing. I don't put guards over here and bigs over here and say, you're big, you just stay down there by the block. I teach them how to dribble too. Teach them how to head fake, teach them how to do everything. And they do everything.
Well, okay, so
and
you're
trying to do that. But my point is you got 28 kids.
Yeah, but maybe you shouldn't have. I'm not talking about you, Coach. I'm just saying, but maybe you shouldn't have 28 kids. And I'm saying, as a parent, as an agent, if we saying the parent is the agent, I'm saying, look, I got this kid. He's 6'8". He can shoot and do all that crap, but I need him to play to the basket. If I came to you and I was like, I just want him to play against just back to the basket. I don't want him doing nothing else for the whole summer. Is that something that we could agree on?
Like in game as you're coaching?
I'm saying in game. That's all. I just want him back to the basket. And I just want him working on those skills.
Hold that thought. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. I see Karley was already ready to say something. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back.
Contact Carl Lee on email. Let's talk carllee@gmail.com or text 409-422-7539.
You're listening to Let's Talk with Carl Lee. Sponsorship opportunities are available. Email letstalk@promessage.com or call 304-342-8131. For more information, visit WCHSnetwork.com/Let's Talk. Now, back to the conversation.
All righty, everybody. We're back. We're right in the middle of the discussion, and I'm hoping Dave, and I think Dave and Karley both had something. I'm hoping they're gonna jump on Hollis and beat him down for a little bit. So follow up with what we were talking about here.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny that you say that about a post move. And I mean, all the kids now want to be Steph Curry. I don't care who they are. You know, we're talking about Doodles laughing, and he wants to shoot threes. I mean, every big kid I have, they want to get out there and shoot threes, and I'm kind of like, you know, you're going to do a lot more damage down there, big guy. But, you know, back to your point of what you want to work on, you know, like I said, when you got that many kids, it makes it a lot harder. Yeah. But going back to that AAU organization, and most of the time they will have 6, 7, maybe 8 kids, so that everybody can play, you know, because like I said, they are paying. But there's where you can do a little bit of work, or you can get somebody to work on them to do that. Now, I hark back all the time. You know, you always tell old man stories. We didn't have no trainers. We didn't have nobody. I had to go play against older people all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how you learn. You know, we go down Jackson Park, we go down to the school, and we go over to state or wherever we were going, and you go play there, and that move's not going to work. But that was working on my little.
I would argue that it probably made y'all a little better.
It does make you better. I encourage my kids, go to Joplin and play. We used to play Joplin every day. Go to Joplin and play. Go somewhere where kids play, or if you're in high school, go play over at state. Go play down at UC. You're not going to get better. That's the thing I think about this AAU. Oh, I'm playing in the 11-year-old group. Okay, what are you going to do when you play against 12 and 13-year-olds? Well, you realize it's a culture shock.
I let Karley. Again, I just asked it to Karley too. If I'm the parent and I got a big man and I want he's a wing, but I want him to learn how to play underneath or back to the basket. If that's something I presented to you as a parent, is that something that we could agree on?
I'm not going to guarantee that a kid's going to play with their back to the basket every possession of every game. You can't guarantee that. It depends on who you're playing. It depends on what your lineup is. It depends on what that kid does for you on a regular basis when their back's not to the basket. But if they want to work on that skill, then I can give you 5 people right now that can help you work on that skill if that's what you want to get better at. And then you can use it in a game once you learn how to do it. At this point, the kid don't even know how to do it. So
see, that's the coaching style that I'm talking about there. Like, don't bring me what your kid is.
Right.
I know. Travel.
I know.
I'm saying
even travel. Even travel.
On a travel team, that might be their role. I mean, you know, if they're a 6'8" person, probably going to be under the basket. But hopefully on the travel team, you've got enough players that can just know how to play. So that kid's going to be in that situation all kinds of times in the game. They can go set a screen if they're playing man-to-man, get switched on a smaller person, and you should post them up. Me as a shooting guard, if I got somebody smaller on me, I should be able to go down to the hole and post them up.
And I guess, and I brought this up the last show that we did. I'm just, and what I would like to see, not just basketball, but just travel sports in general. Where is there room for developmental sort of leagues? Where is there room for a developmental organization? Because like you said, like both of y'all said, if you in high school and you going to play travel, you need to already come with a skill set, and we running games and we increasing your IQ. You probably already have enough skills to be, adequate in this tournament or whatnot. But where is the room for those kids who still need that development? Outside of, because a trainer is good, but we all know training and playing is two different things.
I'm so glad you said that. It's two different things. I think developmental leagues is something that we're lacking in this area. Like, I'm thrilled. My son, he's in 5th grade, about to go into 6th grade. He's on a developmental team for AAU right now, and it's been great. Not just for him, but for every single kid on that team. They've all gotten so much better, but I'm the one that's coaching that team, so I'm working on the fundamentals with them. I'm teaching them little things about the game they need to know. It's getting knowledgeable people that know those things to be able to be invested in coaching these teams. It's not easy coaching. It's a huge time commitment. I mean, it's not easy.
Youth leagues.
I was gonna touch that.
I go out there and I watch them, and they got the little ones, and they're shooting on a 10-foot basket. They can't even get up there, which I've argued forever. Put them on an 8-foot basket, teach them fundamentals to learn how to shoot instead of throw the ball. But work on, instead of playing, half of the game should be everybody dribbling right-handed, everybody dribbling left-handed, right-hand layup, left-hand layup. And teaching them fundamentals, because you've always got that one or two kids, and then you talk to some of the parents and some of the coaches. I'm trying to develop them because I'm going to get them in middle school, right? I want them to have fundamentals. And they go, we got to prepare them for All-Stars. So, there's 2 kids that are on All-Stars, and you got 10 kids there, so we only care about 2 kids. There's what boggles my mind, because that's
overseeing youth sports, okay? Yeah. And basically what happens, unfortunately, is a talented running back. We're going to teach him to get the handoff, and then he's going to naturally run and do his thing. In most cases, he's not going to get hit. So what happens is he comes to the middle school, and I make the case that middle school is that kind of the deciding factor sometimes of where and what you are going to be. Yeah. So you go to the high school, and you don't really know, like, reading the blocking scheme or any of that kind of stuff, and I don't even know how much of that's even taught at the middle school. But once you get through that process, and all of a sudden that kid gets hit one time, it changes the dynamics. Yeah. It's the same thing, and I'm gonna make the case in basketball. It's the same thing in basketball. You're good in youth basketball. You get to Dave, and all of a sudden, you're facing some kids that have already got those skills. Yeah. So now, what happens? I have to get my kid out of that school. Yeah. Because I gotta take him somewhere else. And so when you start talking about drills and teaching, don't we need to teach them how to compete?
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, that's where, to me, I'm thinking that's where we are missing.
It's hard to compete when you're not properly developed. And I would argue that
football, it shows when you get against better competition.
But it don't show to the parent. It doesn't show to the parent. The parent won't see it.
But football, I would argue that football and basketball, there has to be a developmental stop. And I think the thing with baseball, right, you go through, I mentioned this, you go through T-ball, coach's pitch, fast pitch, and it progresses. Whereas football, basketball, we tend to just throw you in there, and it doesn't seem like there's a developmental stop. Like what we're saying to that kid, because we all grew up. I was a football player. You a football player. We all got that kid pitching the ball. He gonna go outside. He's just jet faster than everybody,
outrunning everybody.
But it would be nice if there was a stop to say, okay, little Johnny, you ain't going to the outside. You gonna run right through that 2-hole, and you got to now use your eyes in a combination with your speed. It just no developmental spots in those particular
because they're going to
sports.
stop. That kid's going to stop.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. But after a while, he'll get it, though, right? You know what I'm saying?
If he doesn't quit. Because all of a sudden now he wants to change positions. It's like me trying to be at the high school and say I want to be the shooting guard.
But I think
that was never going to happen.
Carl, get back in there and rebound.
But I think if we teach him how to do that, if we teach the little 5-year-old, 6-year-old to just, okay, you can dribble with your right hand. Let's try your left hand now. Because the kid who can just dribble with their right, they just go to the hole and they just outdoing everybody.
And I'm gonna give a compliment
your practices, the first hour of my practice, the first 5-10 minutes of getting loose and making sure everything's loose and everything. Then we do fundamentals for the first hour. Mm-hmm. Then we go over what we do. All right, we play man to man. We do shell drill. Then we press. So we're going over different ways people are going to break our press. And then we go over our offenses kind of at the end because we score most of our points off turnovers. So if most teams are going to play us a zone. So spread yourself out. Don't stand beside a player. Move the ball, whether you're wearing a 1-3-1 or a 2-1-2, defense or offense. So you want to make sure that kids know spacing. Mm-hmm. To me, all the X's and O's, the kids got to learn to space. But just like you said, if I cut through that hole, if I hit the 2-hole and I see the linebacker coming this way and the end coming this way, I got to know I got to break out. Yeah. But I know that.
But I think coaches are not doing that. I think coaches are just going in, they running their stuff, and they're trying to win. And that's why I said we need a governing body to say, you're going to do it this way. You're going to go, you're going to warm up, we're going to do fundamentals, and then we're going to...
There are leagues that are doing that. There are leagues that are doing that, and it works.
Yeah.
I think doing things like that will help. And for example, just in South Charleston, the last 2 years in the Little League, I've seen more girls in Little League than I've seen in a long time, which has been fantastic. St. Albans has an all-girls Little League.
Oh, yeah, they do.
So they got an all-girls Little League. So they're priming them from kindergarten to whatever. And then I've got some of the South Charleston girls going and playing in that St. Albans Little League. So St. Albans looks really appealing to them, Yeah. So it's hard from a high school level dealing with that. And then just as far as practice planning, we do a lot of fundamentals too, because most of the girls I get, even when I was at the middle school, I got girls in 6th grade who've never touched a basketball before. Yeah. Because it's not as open to girls. Girls get nervous going and playing with the boys. I didn't. My dad just threw me out there, so I was playing with the boys all the time. But not all the parents do that. Some girls feel more comfortable playing with girls. Yeah. So when it's not available to you, and then you start at 6th grade, you're 5 years behind developmentally.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, yeah. So middle school girls is a whole different ball game. Whole different ball game.
I never even thought about it like
that. Because a lot of the boys that dad gets, they've played since they were in kindergarten.
And still can't shoot a left-hand layup.
Yeah.
Still don't know how to point ball man and play help defense.
That's wild.
Yeah, so it's
wild to me.
The development is crucial, and it makes the middle school and high school coaches' jobs harder when they don't get that development. That's something that I've seen the last couple. I've been at the high school for 3 years, and I've seen it all 3 years. I got girls who don't know how to play man-to-man, and I've had to play some zone a couple times. I've got girls who can't still in high school can't shoot a left-handed layup.
And it's part of this too, because not just necessarily systematic, but coaches. Because and I believe coaches can be great without playing. Okay, you can be a great coach without playing. But if you're unaware of, let's say, footwork, because at the core of everything that you guys are talking about, it's footwork, and footwork is critical to any measure of success in any sport. I don't care what it is.
That's all we did today. They touched a basketball for 30 minutes. For an hour, we're working on strength, conditioning, and agility. And all that footwork that they need to get great at the basketball thing.
But you got to create space. I don't care what sport it is. Soccer, football, basketball. You've got to create space and know what to do in space.
Right. Okay. And I'll give you that. My question then, okay, we got the parent as the agent. And who is the coach then? Because there's no way I could coach basketball. Okay, not
sell
dribble,
yourself short.
Not dribble.
I played with it.
Not a dribble, not a shot.
Said great picks and got a lot of rebounds.
Look, yes, and I can cover the guy. Yes, and I can cover the guy because of footwork. But I don't know if coaches are actually. Because when you start talking about the next level, so if you're talking about high school and you're talking about the next level, it's footwork. Mm-hmm. It's footwork. you can shoot, but if you can't, you better be Steph Curry.
Got to get open.
Because you got to get open, and if you can't play any defense, if you don't have any footwork, you got problems. Who does that? Who takes the time? I mean, which is why I said I was going to give you guys a compliment. I know that you guys go to the detailed pieces of it.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I wanted you here today. But I don't know if especially travel, because I know people who are coaching travel basketball who I know they couldn't have been any better at basketball than me. I would never try to destroy somebody's kid if I'm coaching them. And I'm trying to figure out, how are you coaching? And I get it. YouTube is available and all that kind of stuff. But come on, there's something. Am I wrong?
I think there's benefits if you've played the sport before that help. But I mean, honestly, my dad never played soccer a day in his life.
My brother didn't either, and he tried to coach.
He coached us in soccer, and we had a great stint from my 6th grade to senior year.
I'm gonna blame that on talent, but let's.
But
it's
because it's the coach's dedication, right? So he did the research. He went and did the extra stuff to learn the sport and be completely embedded in the sport. I still look up. I mean, I've played basketball for a long time. I have a great resource right here. I still look up drills. I look up different plays that I want to run. You've got to be fully invested. It is pretty much a full-time job when you're coaching, especially at the high school level. On top of whatever I
learned that quick.
Yeah, on top of whatever your other day job is. Mine is very demanding at the hospital. So it is a investment, and it is a calling. So if people don't have that calling, they don't want to put in that investment, it's hard to convince people to coach.
And I think that's the same mindset that parents walk into gyms with. They think, again, some of them may have never played that particular sport, but they feel like they've done research. They feel like they've done this. They feel like they've invested that. So they feel like they have a right to tell the coaches.
My comeback to that, though, is your kid making that same investment, though? That's something that I don't see match up sometimes.
And before you yell at me, because your son is not doing it, tell me what you're doing with your son.
But I've taken him to training for
right,
5
but
10 years.
Here's my thing.
I'm going to use it
to training for 10 years.
Right, so you can take him, but did you sit and watch the effort that your kid gave at training, or did you just drop him off and go to the grocery store because you're a parent? You got to also feed your kid when they get done with training. You know what I mean? So it's you can pay for all this stuff,
But you can pay and not even know what you're looking at.
Exactly.
You can stay and not know what you don't know what you're getting. You don't even know what it looks like.
If you have to ask your kid to go to the gym, they don't want it.
That's a fact.
If you have to pay for lessons just so you know your kid's getting in the gym, they don't want it. It's that
they're not
simple.
going to if it's basketball, you're not going to the park. You're not going to play with other guys outside, and you're not doing that. It's not there. That kid's not going to play college ball.
That's my 5 in the morning. That's my 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And
we got kids that go down to the rec and they're shooting and working on their game at 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And those kids want it.
Yeah.
And you got, all right, you can go with them because the high school coaches are down there trying to help them. And I would do anything in the world for Josh and them. We talk about kids, wanting it and this kind of thing, and then the ones that are leaving. And you're like, I want every kid to go to South Charleston.
Right.
And see,
it doesn't work out.
Hollis makes the case that there's this separation of, guys girls, men, women who want that next level. Mm-hmm. There's a difference in them, okay? Because they will get up in the morning and they will do that work. Mm-hmm. And to the question of is your kid that kid?
Right. But that's why there's only 8% that end up doing that.
But I think to the larger point, sports is a conduit for most of us. Sports is a conduit for most of us to go to college, to make sure that we're academically and behavioral sound in school. That was for me. I played college football for Coach Lee, but I never really had dreams of going to the NFL. But I knew I liked playing football, and I was going to do that, and that was going to sustain me. So I would just argue the point that it's different classes. And the smaller, minute class is the kid who's getting up at 5 in the morning by themselves to do X, Y, and Z. But most of them are going to have to be pushed and pulled in some direction. That's most of the kids that's probably 90% of the kids you're dealing with.
But again,
so you have
with the topic being on
kids.
the parent can see that.
Yeah.
You know, my mom had to fight with me to do schoolwork because I didn't want to. I was so stuck into football that I was like, I don't want to have an option. I want to go to the pros. I want to play pro football, and I don't want an option because if I got an option, I might opt out one day to take that option. I was ineligible my freshman year after my freshman year at Marshall with that same mindset. I go to college with the same mindset, knowing you got to have a 2.0, but that doesn't register to me. I'm thinking if I do school, man, I might like it. I might, I might do okay with it.
Right.
No, I don't want an option.
Right.
I'm not saying that's what you do, but I'm saying that's how far in I was, and I'm trying to, and I'm not asking the kids to be that. But the kids got to show me. You got to show me something. Like you got to show me that you want to eat.
But they have so many more options now.
Oh, yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Our option was, here's a ball, go play ball.
That's it.
And that's all we did. We didn't have
nobody
options.
training you.
I ain't have money. I didn't have money to go roller skating. I didn't have money to go do. My dad was like, go play ball.
I would argue that's the better option. I would argue that's the better option because you guys had fun. To me, when I look at these kids, and again, these kids, these parents are pushing, because I think parents know their kids, so they know that, hey, I might have to take him out of this environment, put him there, transfer, right? But I would argue that a lot of kids that I've seen play, they look like they are just having the worst time.
Oh, yeah.
Why is it that the parent doesn't see that?
But I think,
and there's no winner stay up. That's the best. That's the best thing ever.
Right.
Winner stay up.
Yeah.
But I think the parent is.
I get beat. I better work hard so I can win next
The
game.
parent is using their sports to make sure that they're using it as a conduit to make sure that kid is staying afloat in school and behavior. They're trying to use whatever they have to make sure that kid stays on the straight and narrow.
That's a great point. And I think that's what's getting lost, especially in school sports. School sports should not be a business where it's win or nothing, or I'm trying to get every single one of the greatest girls basketball players in the state of West Virginia to come to South Charleston. I would love that. I would love coaching all those girls. But you are using it, like you said, to help kids. You're teaching them not only like fundamentals of basketball, how to work hard, how to compete. You're teaching them life skills. Yeah. Like I got girls that still call and text me today, say, hey, coach, can I use you as my reference? I'm applying for this job. And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then if they need help preparing for an interview, I help them.
How old are you?
Pam
31.
Brown.
31?
Pam Brown hugged me today. Ask Avery about it.
See, and again, I asked this question on the show prior to, like, what is sports? See, that is sports.
Yeah.
And see, and for me, if I'm coaching, when I was at state, my thing wasn't that I was trying to get guys to the NFL. Mm-hmm. I wanted you to graduate. I wanted you to understand to be on time. I wanted you to be responsible. I wanted you to graduate and be somebody special. And that piece of it is rare now because it is about winning. It is about winning. And me as a kid, me as a parent with a kid, I am thinking I don't care about how many games we win. My kid's at South Charleston High School. He's with one of the Walkers. I'm happy because I know them and I know what they're going to do. I don't have to worry about if they yell at him. I don't have to do all that. Well, I'm trusting that reality.
I'm going to yell at him a little bit.
Yeah, and
it's going to be constructive.
Yeah, and I'm going to be fine with it.
I think winning is a part of it. You have to win. Nobody wants
Competition is good.
Nobody wants to spend 4 years in high school losing.
Right.
You know, if you're a college coach, you got to try to get some of one or two guys to the league.
Right.
All that's part of it. So you can't because it's that same kid who may not be a superstar, who's just a player who just wants to be down with the team and happy. But if they're losing, that same kid may like, hey man, I ain't got time to sit here and lose. I go work at Kroger's.
It's hard.
Teaching kids to be competitive, I think, is a good thing, and it helps you later in life. Because when you get to where you're in, like she said, job interview, or in where I'm working at, it's a competitive nature to keep business or to be able to do things. So you want to be competitive, and I want to do really well and do the fundamentals I need even in my job to be able to be competitive, to try to win accounts or win things like that. And teaching kids that and letting them see that and letting them understand that, I show them all the time. I said, basketball didn't give me that nice house and nice car. I said, my job did. I got 2 master's degrees. That's what got it for me. Right. So being able to teach kids and show them that, hey, it's hard work. Nothing's easy.
Right.
You can talk to any kid I ever talked to, every kid I ever coached. It's about work.
It's a fact.
You got to work. But if you want something, people don't hand you stuff all the time. You got to work for it.
But I say football got me mine. I never played in the league, but football got me everything I got.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And all the lessons that you
got me to
learned,
school too.
and the lessons that you learned, you can carry them over.
Yeah.
Where are those lessons now, though?
I'm still teaching them.
Yeah.
And I
We're
believe
trying.
I'm still teaching them. Yeah,
But
I think
that jumping around, I don't say all the kids are jumping around, but a lot of them are. And usually it's related to playing time. Well, if you're not playing for one coach, and not all of them, I know a kid's transferring this year. He played at South Charleston, but kind of didn't for a while. Now he's going somewhere else. And I hate it because I bleed orange and black. I want every kid to go to South Charleston. I didn't get to win a state championship with 3 years, but didn't win it. But I'm proud of being there.
Right.
But I still want them to win. And it's part of the reason why I'm back there coaching now. I mean, I want Josh to do well. I want all those guys. They put in a lot of time with those high school kids. And to see them go to other schools doesn't mean I don't like the kid anymore. I still love the kids. I text all those kids all the time. We were just talking about Wayne just recently. I text all those kids all the time. I do stuff for them now, even though they're gone. And I love that.
I got a call from one of the kids that was on the team when I got there and did not remain on the team, asking about a job. And why would I be like, oh, well, you didn't play?
Right.
Because it's not
you're better than that.
I like to think that I am better than that. Right. And so, yes, I'm trying to help him. If I have contact with you, then to me, then I want to be part of whatever measure of success that I can help you with. If I can speak to somebody to get you going. But that's different. That's different than on the field. Mm-hmm. When you put cleats on, you put shorts on, and you tie your shoes up, young lady, dude, this is ball. And I'm only going to be okay if everything is okay that I see. And if not, I'm not going to be. And you got to deal with it. You got to deal with that frustration. And again, I wear hats that might look like coaching. I will never coach again, and maybe nobody will ask me, but I will never coach again because I know for a fact that who I am and how I know a pad. I got a pad, okay? Like I went that. I did this, and it got me there. And in high school, I wasn't anybody looking at me like I was a great player of any sport. I was okay in football, but nobody saw that. But 5 o'clock in the morning, in the weight room, cheap, not in the weight room, but dump some backyard weights, plastic weights. That's what I did. And that got better and got better. But
that's in you. That's in you.
But if these kids say that they want it, if the kids say that they want it, the parents say that they want it, why are you not?
Go back to what you just said.
I was going to say, did you know what you wanted?
Or did the parents say it?
That's in you, and that's very rare. That's 0.5% of the population. That's in you. Right. So most of the 99%, they just want to be. They like playing for fun and other reasons.
What 13 to 18-year-old kid really knows what they want? Not a whole lot. I mean, I can tell you my story. I don't know if he still even speaks to me about this, but when I was going through the process of figuring out where I wanted to go play at the next level, because my dad invested in me, my mom invested in me, we did all the AAU, we traveled. I got a Division I offer to an Ivy League school, and I turned it down.
Because we
just talking
about a little man.
At 17, 18 years old, I'm like, that's far from home. I don't want to be that far away from home. So I turned it down. Looking back on it now at 31, that was stupid. But I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. even with making that probably wrong decision. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So I think with coaching, you play so many roles. You mentor, you coach, you're trying to win, you're trying to develop, you're trying to make sure the kid has somewhere safe to go at night. You're trying to make sure the kid's eating on a regular basis. You're trying to make sure that kid has clothes to go to school. I mean, you're a mom, you're a sister, you're an aunt, you're all these different roles because, just like you're saying, not everybody's got that dog in them that knows that's what they want and that's what they're trying to get. For example, I had a girl who now was going to play at Point Park University. She wasn't even going to play when I came. She was a cheerleader. I saw her do little, whatever those jumps are, flat foot, and she got up. I was like, heck yeah, you're about to come play basketball. You can get all kinds of rebounds for me. Yeah, and she's a good eye. She's a heck of an athlete. She had 2 great years for me, and now she's going to play at Point Park. I had all 5 girls that I graduated go and play at the next level, which is
so that's big stuff.
Which is great, but not only they work for it. They worked for it. I helped them figure out the path. Like, they worked for it. Their parents were invested. It takes everybody being invested and being involved to get that type of success.
And this could be a touchy subject, but I heard today that you had, one of your maybe best player is transferring.
Yes, Natalie Smith. She's going to Nitro.
And I know the family,
Oh yeah, great family.
Yeah, and Nitro is it double A or single A?
I want to say double or triple. It's confusing now how they've moved everybody up because we're 4A. They're either 2A or 3A now.
Yeah. Like again, and as the day has progressed, I realized that like GW has like 16 kids that have transferred there. Yeah. Hurricanes got 14.
Yeah.
That's transferred there.
It's there. I mean, the rules are changing. Transferring is not, it's a new thing that high school coaches have to deal with. You've got to make your program appealing now. You've got to almost recruit. I mean, if
not almost.
Yeah,
recruit,
I mean, you gotta recruit. Yeah, so like it's turning more into allegedly. Yeah, it's turning into college basketball at the high school level. I mean, shoot, who knows? Maybe they'll start doing NIL deals for high school kids. But
well, if I'm a high school, if I'm a high school kid, I'm already looking to that potential possibility of that deal.
Right.
Sure. Because I know it's out there.
Right, exactly. I mean, especially in the women's game. WNBA players don't make that much money. So, like, in the women's game, there's girls in college basketball right now making more than the majority of the WNBA players.
Stay.
Oh, yeah.
They ain't trying to go.
So my thing is, yes, it sucks losing great players because people want to come to your program because of great players. So when you lose one, that's a huge hit. It's a huge hit. But it goes back to what you're saying. Everybody thinks they've made an investment. You want to do what's best for your child at the end of the day. And if you genuinely think taking them to a different school is what's best for your kid, I'm not going to be mad at you for that. Never. Not ever. I will do anything for that kid still to this day. Great kid, great player. Wish her nothing but the best. But, it sucks for our program. It really does. So now we've got to get back to the drawing board. I've got a bunch of girls ready to go and ready to work, and I'm going to coach who I've got. That's my job.
And that is the ideal thing to kind of say. Not saying that it's not true, but again, I just don't like it. Okay,
I don't necessarily like it.
I'm like straight up, and I think it's all wrong. I think because it's not teaching you anything. It's not. There is no community bonding. There is no loyalty. There is no any of that. If I'm in South Charleston and the mayor is Frank Mullins, and Frank Mullins does all the things that he does for the city of South Charleston and its sports, why in the world would I leave? I mean, that literally makes no sense to me.
That's something we've got to figure out as a community, though. I mean, I'm part of the community, have been my whole life. So as my dad, my dad's coached for years in South Charleston, never coached for another school. I don't plan on coaching for any other school. So I'm invested, and he's invested as well. So we've got to figure out, take a hard look at what's going on and why are kids leaving South Charleston?
I mean, shoot, my wife's on city council. She's president of city council. I'm on
Right.
the Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Right.
You see me all the
Yeah.
time down there watching the little kids and
Yeah.
that kind of
Yeah.
stuff too when I have time. I mean, we do backpack programs for Richmond. I mean,
Yeah.
we feed all them kids. My company helps donate money for that and all those kind of things. And we're rooted in South Charleston. So, like I said, we kind of bleed orange and black, So we have this little rivalry with GW, but we've had it ever since we've been kids.
Yes.
It's not that
Yes.
we hate them. I love Coach Green. I love all the people up there, Coach Tesla, John Adams. We get along great. But the point is not everybody has that.
Right.
Not everybody grew up that way. And not everybody is rooted in their communities the way a lot of people are. We would love to, like I'm thrilled to death to have Josh. Josh played at South Charleston. He's now the coach of the high school, And that's, to me, those kind of things help build as much as you possibly can, and I don't know what we could do to change it. I don't know if it's partially the school systems or the school or the people running the schools. I'm very happy with the principal and the athletic director that I have now. Previously, it was hard.
Right.
It was hard. I mean, nothing against them or anything, but it was hard. And I see them being more invested in the community. And it takes everybody.
Yeah,
It's not just
Absolutely.
me as
I
the
think
coach.
that's the point. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the point is that it has to work from the top down and,
Yep.
the bottom up. So you have to have all members
we
of the
have it.
community.
Yeah.
We have
together.
it. See, that's the crazy
You know what I
thing
mean?
about South Charleston. We have that from the top down.
Yeah. But I still think transferring is a good thing. I had a kid who, and I'm not going to mention his name or schools, but he's a really good player in his sport. He experienced some racism where he's at, and he got up
Understandable.
out of there and he transferred to a school now that he doesn't maybe have to deal with that. So I think transferring it in that rule, it solves several different problems.
And creates some.
But it also creates some.
Yes.
And I think for different communities, it has to be a workable. I don't think, we're experiencing this on the west side heavy, just Charleston in general, where we're so fragmented. Everybody is their own president, their own person. And I think if you want to solve this problem, you're going to have to work together. The trainers
Right.
going to have to work together, little league, middle school, high school. Everybody's going to have to come together, and you're going to have to try to you don't have to agree on everything, but you have to agree on one thing, is that we want these kids to try to stick together, and they got to try to solve that problem. But it's going to take to me, a massive effort.
Oh yeah.
And it's harder and harder with social media and all that. And what we talked about, the AAU teams.
Yeah.
And kids being able to jump and go wherever they want all summer, and then now they're going to be able to go to whatever school they want. I mean, think about it. The kids now, from what I understand, and I'm not sure if this is 100%, they could go play football somewhere and then go somewhere else and play basketball.
I don't know what. I don't
That's
know
gonna
what
That
will
be-
could
stop.
happen. I think that could
Yeah.
happen.
That's
Yeah.
going to, I know a couple of them.
And essentially, you get two transfers because, like I said, you could transfer. You could pick your school out of middle school, and then once you get to your high school, then you can go somewhere else. So essentially, it creates two transfers. You know,
And there is part of a rule. I don't know if it's going to change with the newer rules, but if you pick somewhere from 8th going into 9th, whatever your home school was, you get one transfer back.
Transfer
to your
back to home school,
So
yes.
there's three.
Yeah.
three.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right,
So
well, I appreciate the good conversation. We've got to wrap it up here. And let me just say this to some of the coaches who don't want to come on the show to talk about it and actually tell me why or how or where or how you feel about
See, that's
transferring.
your competitive side all coming out. To the
Let's talk is about let's talk.
Yeah.
It's not illegal to get transfers. So you got nothing to hide behind. It's legal, so come talk to me.
Okay.
All right?
Well,
Guys,
let's give them what are you guys up to? What you got going
Yeah, okay.
on? Just
what we
close
got
us
going
out.
on. All right. So right now we're in 3-week period. That's actually where I just came from. So we've got workouts going on. We're actually playing in a shootout on West Virginia Day at Nitro High School. And just going to be working with the girls, getting them in shape this summer and getting ready for next season.
Nice.
So
What about you, Coach?
Yeah, we
Walker?
got most of our kids playing AU and travel ball in different groups, and we've got a good little group down there in South Charleston, a hustle group that
Yeah.
Derek runs, which
Yeah.
is good. A bunch of kids play there. And we have a league up at the Shy Ball League. They're actually having a junior high league this year, which is, I think, the first time they've had it. So we'll be playing in that starting in June through July. So I guess I'll be using flex days or recruiting coaches to coach that when I can't do it.
Hey, if you need a coach,
yeah, there you go. I got you, Carl. You got first game, man.
All right, everyone. We appreciate your time and hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll get back with you next time. All right, take it easy.
The opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of WVRC Media, its management, employees, or sponsors. Contact Carl Lee on email, letstalkcarllee@gmail.com, or text 409-422-7539.